Trending Update USA, welcome back. I am Stefan, bringing you the latest story that has the tennis world buzzing, worried, and frankly, confused. Right now, the topic everyone is searching is Coco Gauff, and fans across platforms like Reddit's and even comment sections on videos from channels powered by are all asking the same thing. Is she okay? Has something changed? What are we not being told? The concern isn't random. It has been building like a pressure cooker. Over the past weeks, Coco Gauff's public appearances, on-court demeanor, social silence, body language, and interview tone have sparked a wave of worry that even seasoned commentators from veteran sports analysts compare to past emotional shifts seen in elite athletes. Unlike previous dips in momentum that were attributed to tactical errors or youthful inconsistency, this feels different, heavier, quieter, unusually internalized. Tennis fans have always admired Coco Gauff's fire, voice, leadership, and emotional maturity, but lately, many feel like the spark isn't gone, but buried. Let's rewind and build the context. Coco Gauff, 2023 champion, became a household name long before lifting that trophy. When she broke through at defeating the legendary Venus Williams, she wasn't just a rising star, she was a cultural moment. A 15-year-old shaking stadiums, timelines, and expectations. Brands lined up. Media crowned her early. Conversations around her shifted from potential to legacy before she even finished high school. Since then, Coco Gauff deals with pressure layered on pressure, Grand Slam expectation, national representation, social advocacy, generational voice, commercial spotlight, and the ruthless 24/7 microscope of digital fandom. It's a beautiful career from the outside, but a demanding reality from the inside. And that's where this new storyline sits. Fans first noticed a subtle tonal shift during her post-match interviews at the 2025 lead-up swing. Reporters from major sports desks, including broadcasters modeled after networks covered her answers, but those answers felt shorter. Less playful. Less layered. Less that signature Coco mix of charm and edge. Instead, reflective pauses. More. I guess. More. We move. More. I'll figure it out. Answers filled with resolve, but not joy. Then came a worrying pattern, social media silence. Coco Gauff has typically been active, celebrating wins, reposting memes, sharing training montages, hype-ups, family moments, and behind-the-tour snapshots. But unlike her peers who continue feeding daily content streams to their fans, she began posting less, then almost not at all. No Instagram story dumps. No practice reels. No travel carousel captioned. Different city, same dream globe showing Europe, Africa, fire. Just quiet. And quiet in 2025 fandom is loud. Reddit tennis noticed. Twitter threads exploded. Where is Coco? Why is she so quiet? Has anyone seen her smile lately? Her energy feels off in interviews. This is not the same Coco Gauff from 2023 to 24 confidence arc. The analytics meters on Twitter even show her name paired with emotional words like worried, changed, different, and not right, trending not for tennis achievement, but for emotional uncertainty. Then the matches began. On court, Coco Gauff's game isn't broken. Let's make that absolutely clear. Technically, she remains one of the most physically gifted players on the current. Her movement is still cheetah fast. Her defense remains elastic. Her cross-court angles still embarrass opponents. Her grid is intact. But fans aren't just watching forehands and backhands, they are watching her. And that's where the worry lives. During intense rallies where the stadium expected that fist-pump ignition, Coco Gauff often gave a smaller reaction. After errors, her recovery used to be instant emotional reboot, quick smile, self-talk, racket tap, reset. Lately, the reset still happens, but slower. Like she has to swim up to the surface instead of snapping back. Opponents like Swiatek and Jessica Pegula have posted neutral competitor tones historically, but even commentators comparing match energy between them recently say it feels like Gauff is carrying an invisible backpack no scoreboard can measure. It didn't help that her 2025 results have had contrast, moments of brilliance, followed by oddly flat emotional zones. Tennis is momentum plus emotion, rhythm plus psychology. And Coco's psychology seems less broadcast externally. Fans wonder if it's maturity, burnout, media fatigue, injury fear, or something personal she's not sharing. The uncertainty causes worry. Let's talk injury whispers. There was a practice week where fans speculated about hand strain, shoulder tightness, or overtraining aches. But her team never confirmed long-term physical damage. An on-court performance doesn't show serious biomechanical inhibition. If this were a physical injury, we'd see it: serve power reduction, double fault spikes, slower sprint recovery, compromised extension, avoidance of certain strokes, questionable planting on movement. We see none of that as a dominant pattern. Which leaves the heavy possibility fans hate to admit: it might not be her body, it might be her mind. Elite athletes sometimes experience emotional compression when pressure grows faster than breathing room. Past champions like Naomi Osaka openly talked about stepping back for mental health in 2021-22 arcs. The tennis community now understands that the heart of sport is not just physical, it's internal. Coco Gauff has always been the young leader who spoke for others loudly, but maybe never for herself softly. And maybe that softness is where she lives right now. Now let's talk off-court moments that fueled this. Her press conference when she said she was mentally resetting a few things. Without elaboration. No dramatic statement. No big reveal. No vulnerability speech like, "I'm taking a break." Just a one-line cryptic sentence delivered calmly, which fans interpreted explosively because Coco has typically been emotionally transparent, confident, and communicative. Cryptic calm from her feels like emotional concealment, and concealment feels alarming from someone who never used to conceal. Then there was tournament exit footage where she walked slower from the tunnel. Fans noted it wasn't sadness, it was felt more than shown. Some even linked the moment to pressure comparisons with rising expectations after her 2023 US Open title run, where media pressure reached unprecedented weight. But instead of exploding emotionally like younger athletes sometimes do, Coco compressed gracefully, which may actually make it more psychologically draining. Let's analyze psychology. Coco Gauff carries a career narrative built on precocity. The tennis system once compared her early impact to legends. Not formally, but narratively. Comparisons distort breathing room. Precocious legends are expected to maintain constant growth without pause. Quarterfinal, semifinal, final. Champion, multi-champion, rival of champions. The emotional toll of that escalator is real. And 2025 tour life is unrelenting. Riyadh, Doha, Beijing, Dubai, Saudi swing, America swing, Europe clay, grass season, Asia indoor, year-end finals pressure. There is no long off-season reset anymore. The machine never powers down. And Coco Gauff has been plugged into that machine since age 15. Could this be emotional exhaustion? Very possible. Not immaturity. Not collapse. Not loss of love for tennis. Just the quiet cognitive lag that happens when someone finally pauses inside after years of sprinting outside. Let's talk fan psychology too. Coco Gauff's fandom is protective because they grew up watching her grow up. This isn't distant admiration. This is parasocial guardianship. Which means fans notice micro details most analysts dismiss. A slightly less energetic interview is not slight, it's a signal. A week of TikTok silence is not routine, it's concerning. A slower tunnel walk is not fatigue, it's storytelling. Fans aren't diagnosing, they are sensing. Now let's compare match expressions historically. Coco Gauff used to roar. Then she evolved to composed fire, action without theatrics. Then leader without chaos. Right now, she seems competitor without commentary, tennis without expression. Which can either mean internal focus, or internal stress nobody sees. Fans fear the second because the first feels unfamiliar. Even players from 2025 competitor circuits sympathetically observe that athletes sometimes dip quietly before rebranding mentally. There is narrative precedent, but Coco Gauff has never had a long quiet phase, so nobody knows how to read it yet. Let's talk coaching angle. Her coaching team, containing leaders cut from systems similar to, emphasizes stable development, not emotional headlines. They have always prioritized resilience. Winning quietly is fine. But hurting quietly is dangerous. And nobody knows which quiet this is. We now reach the core question: has something actually gone wrong? Here's what we can confirm based on public behavior patterns. She is not injured in a tournament-ending physical way. She is not publicly withdrawing from the WTA Tour. She continues practicing privately, but showing less outward narrative. She answers interview questions politely but shorter. She smiles sometimes, but fans don't see the spontaneity as often. She never said she hates tennis. She never said she is done. She never hinted at a break. She hinted at mental resetting, which could be tactical or psychological. The sudden external silence is the biggest signal, not her tennis strokes. Now let's talk PR machinery. Major tennis media engines driven by networks comparable to press syndication desks always try to interpret silence as transition or trauma. Fans are divided. Half believe Coco is just focusing internally to prepare for a peak run, the other half fear hidden emotional load. Neither side has proof. Only instinct. Let's look at timing. She is firmly in the window before another major tennis swing. If something heavy happened emotionally, this is exactly when it shows, between tournaments when the mind breathes longer than the body runs. What does she need right now? If this were a direct appeal, not speculation. She needs room without storylines. Support without demands. Fandom without radar. Expectations without timelines. Love for tennis without identity pressure. Space to play without having to prove she is okay constantly. But here is the catch: Coco Gauff never asked for sympathy publicly. She is not collapsing. She is not crying out. She is competing, just quieter. The worry might be projection, but projection often comes from love. And that's the story? Because something doesn't have to be catastrophic to be important. Sometimes the biggest story is silence from someone who used to inspire loudly. This might be a chapter where Coco Gauff is rebuilding invisible architecture inside so she can roar again outside. Or it might be a season where pressure finally tapped her shoulder softly. Either way, fans are right to care, but may be wrong to fear. One thing we know about Coco Gauff: every time the sport tried to write a narrative for her, she rewrote it in tennis instead. Maybe this quiet is the draft before the rewrite. Tennis is not just points. It's arcs. And quiet arcs sometimes end the loudest.